Steel boots stomping, crashing the floor. Two wild Yinzers kicking through the door. Loud like a jag-off at a pins game fight. Brace yourself, this ride ain't polite. Two dumb Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. Tales from the burg with a hint of mayhem. Pierogi powered, nothing can constrain them. Knocking back stories like an icy cold brew. You never know what these two might spew. Two dumb Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. Tales from the burg with a hint of mayhem. Pierogi powered, nothing can constrain them. Knocking back stories like an icy cold brew. You never know what these two might spew. Two dumb Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. Rivers collide where the laughs always flow. Black and gold thunder everywhere they go. The madcap kings breaking every mold. With two dumb Yinzers, the stories don't get old. Two dumb Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice.
Aloha, everybody. Welcome back to the show. This is episode 840 of the GW. Welcome back. Hey, what's going on, Michael? A couple of things before we do get started today. Welcome, everybody. Good morning to Tortilla on the board. Great seeing you on board, my friend. Always great seeing the great Tortilla on the board today. A lot of things going on, Mike. We're going to get into today. I just wanted to point something out, though. First, your microphone ain't working or ain't on.
Yeah.
Second, offensive is spelled wrong on the
thumbnail. Yeah, I just noticed.
Okay.
Yeah, I just noticed, brother.
Okay. I just wanted to double check, make sure you know.
Yeah. I was like, I was in a rush to get it done, and I posted it, and I'm like, oh my god. Yeah, I'm working on it.
Yeah, you've had quite a morning.
It's been like I felt like I was on top of my game this morning. With the Steelers,
your microphone keeps cutting out too. What is going on over there? What are you doing?
I don't know what I'm doing. I'm like the Steelers right now. Everything is failing.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the show. I think if everything is going and rolling properly, we are ready for the show. Good morning. Welcome back, everybody. This is the Wednesday, the hump day installment of the show. Good morning to Tortilla. Good morning to Steeler Nation. Good morning to all Yinzers and Yinzerettes alike. We're back with another one, guys. We're going to get into some Steelers offense today. We're going to talk. We had a bunch of moves yesterday. Guys cut, guys signed, guys about a dozen guys brought in for tryouts, and also some quotes from Mike Tomlin. Always makes for an interesting time at his press conference, and a lot of other things going on today regarding our Pittsburgh Steelers getting ready for the New England Patriots, guys, this Sunday, 1 o'clock at Gillette Stadium in New England, or Foxborough, I guess you would call it. Tortilla says Art Rooney is trying to silence Vanilla Thunderbird.
God damn it, you're right. He is, brother. He is coming after me. They are afraid for the knowledge bombs I'm dropping.
I'm going to start off with. I'm just going to wait a couple minutes to just kind of get things rolling. Like I was at, I had to get down to the store the other day.
Mm-hmm.
And if you ever walk into a store and you notice immediately that somebody busted ass in there before you were in there.
Oh yeah.
So I go in, and there was four people in there, and it smelled like a fart, like real bad. And I go in, and 100 things start going through your mind at that point. At first, it's like, this sucks. How do I not have to stand there and smell a person's fart for the next 10 minutes? And then you start to think to yourself, because I had other places to go after there. So I thought to myself, what if the smell sticks to me? And then I started thinking, oh, wait a minute, what if they think that I did it? And I was like, well, it already smelled when I came in, so nobody could possibly think that I did this monstrosity of a fart. And the thing about the four people that were in there, they were all women. It was as bad as fart I've ever smelled. So I kind of started cringing my nose up a little bit, like I smelled something, and I would individually look at each person one at a time, just kind of with my nose, like I smelled something. Nobody gave a hint. They just kind of looked around, and but one of them four women busted ass in that store, man, and I couldn't wait to get out of there. And as like I said, I mean, you go to the Subway for 5 minutes and you walk around smelling like subs for the rest of the day. Why wouldn't you smell like a fart if that would happen?
Exactly. It's like a snake, man. Sometimes it just follows you. That's too, man.
It was a terrible fart, and especially, as I said again, it was amongst about a half dozen women almost, and again, it couldn't not be on the forefront of everybody's mind.
Oh yeah,
they were in there. When I walked in, it was disgusting. When I was in there, it was disgusting, and when I walk out, I couldn't wait to get out. And I was even going to give this one guy, he was walking in, I was going to give him a heads up, but he kind of went the other way when he walked in, like toward another lane, so I didn't get to give him a heads up. But I felt really bad. I wanted to I wanted to warn him. Maybe he could have left and ran and avoided it, but it was bad.
Hey, brother, what are these women just dropped the biggest, nastiest fart you've ever seen?
It was something.
Or ever smelt. It's like walking through Hiroshima or Nagasaki. They're just committing war crimes as we go.
Yeah. You don't get this all too often, but when it happens, man, it
doesn't. It just ruins your day.
And then I'm thinking, well, what about what I'm getting? What if it ends up attaching itself to my product and it smells like fart?
It's like your Wendy's burger.
Right, like my Wendy's burger. What is it with these people with these farts? And it was a woman over there too. Remember the story?
The women have it out against Chief Hung Low.
These women here in Western PA, man, shit.
Word's out about you, brother. You like the farts?
Tortilla says, Jack the Ass Ripper. That's about it too, man.
Oh, my goodness.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the show. This is, again, episode 814 of the Two Dumb Yinzers. Getting ready for New England. A lot of things to go over today, guys. Let me just jump right into it here. We have signed or signing, in the process of signing, former Giants and Bills wide receiver Isaiah Hawkins. He's 6'4", 200 pounds. He was a 6th-round pick in 2020 from Oregon. Also, with that signing being announced, we're releasing Raheem Jarrett, Mike, Jarrett. We just spoke about him about a week ago. He's being released. And also tight end J.J. Galbraith is being released as well from the practice squad. The Steelers hosted nearly a dozen players for tryouts, including ex-Steelers tight end Matt Sokol and linebacker Jacoby Wyndham. Also, the Steelers are signing former Patriots inside linebacker Jawan Bentley. He played 7 seasons in New England. He's signing with the practice squad. He's going to rejoin with Jabril Peppers. And from what I understand, whenever he learns the playbook, he's going to be bumping up to the active roster.
Yeah.
So these are some things. Also, I do have on information on Mr. Bentley. He's a thumper. Of course, we've been talking about how we need a thumper at the inside linebacker position. The two guys that are playing the position now, obviously, their job might be at jeopardy at some point because nobody is able to do the job particularly well. Mr. Bentley, he is a 4-time team captain, Super Bowl champion, and a physical thumper. He has 68 starts in his career and 509 tackles, Mike.
Yeah, from 2020 to 2023. He's been a tackling machine. 2020 was the only year out of that 4-year span he was under 100 tackles, and he had 91. Every other year he's been over 100. He is coming off a torn pec. And I think that's why he was, available to be signed. And so hopefully he's healthy and ready to go at this point of the juncture. You get what you get at this point, but if he can replicate what he did in New England, at least in 2023 with 114 tackles, I will take it. He's not the best in coverage, but we got guys who can cover. We need a guy who's just going to stick his nose in there and thump. 6'2", 250, he better be a thumper or ready to go.
And then again with this wide receiver, Mike, I don't understand why they're not using the wide receiver that we already have. This was the argument when we were going on and on about a wide receiver too. Well, we have Roman Wilson, guys. He's coming back. Roman Wilson's coming back. He was out last season, but he's going to be a big part of the passing game. Meanwhile, we are 2 games out of 17, and he has 1 catch for 7 yards.
Yeah.
So again, they brought in Mr. Isaiah Hodkins, and from what I understand, they're going to be signing him as they released a couple people and also signed Jawan Bentley, the inside linebacker, Mike, to try to improve some of the areas that we've been struggling in, of course. But again, I just don't understand. They didn't touch. They didn't go out. And again, people can say, well, these other wide receivers were moving off the board, but they weren't. We've talked about this all off season, and we've seen them go after tight end after tight end after tight end, and they went out and got other players, and they got cornerbacks and everything else. Because we have somebody, Mike. This guy's coming back. Roman Wilson's coming back. What I kept hearing. It's coming back. Between Roman Wilson and Calvin Austin. We don't need a number 2. This is what I continue to hear all through the offseason. And again, Calvin Austin 1 target last week. Roman Wilson 1 target through 2 weeks. And again, even I like to go on and joke about the white guys. They're not even getting the ball thrown to them in week 2. As you've seen in week 1, it was Skoranek or Miller, whoever scored. It seemed like forever ago to me for right now, but they weren't even getting the ball thrown to them. So I'm quite confused on what the hell's going on this offense, Mike. Today we are going to get into the Artie Smith offense and a whole bunch of stuff connected to that. But there are a few other things that I do want to go over before we get into that, Mike. Former Steeler outside linebacker Preston Wilson, who was just with the team last year. Preston Wilson did sign with the Washington Redskins. So he's no longer available. We didn't need him, but he's out there. And then also, Mike, this is one that I got. Former Steeler Devin Bush through 2 games. Devin Bush, 15 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, 1 sack, and 3 passes defended in just 2 games.
Who would have thought?
Who would have thought?
Who would have thought after looking lost here, Seattle, and Cleveland for a year and a half or 2 years, he would finally get it together in year, 7, 8, 9 of his NFL career?
Maybe we should just hold on to Broderick Jones for 5 more years. Maybe
he'll be ready to go. He'll be ready to go.
So that's what
can't move on from any of the players because they might get better eventually.
So those are all the transitions around the league, Mike, this week. One note made about, and I'm not going to get into this because, again, I kind of stated how I felt about this Caleb Johnson yesterday. Again, I feel that he's the scapegoat for a defense that's playing very poorly. It was very easy to deflect to him and make it not look like it was the defense's fault that we're losing these games, giving up 32 points a game, because that has nothing to do with anything.
Hey, it's Pittsburgh, Bubba. You can't make fun of the defense.
But this incident with the running back, Caleb Johnson, on the kickoff return, Mike, this is what the Ravens, somebody from the Ravens organization meant. We practiced that on day 1, which most everybody does. But again, why it's not, it wasn't practiced and executed on this football team. I think that it's just a bunch of things that you could add on top of what's going on in this team right now, Mike. Again, maybe if we would have been able to pull this game out as we were the Jets, we wouldn't be so rough on the team this week. But maybe this is a good thing that we're rough on the team this week, because there's a bunch of glaring issues that I see with this team right now. And every week they play, there's just more and more issues that keep popping up. And again, go ahead.
No. I was just agreeing with you.
But again, we are out, guys, moving things around, making some things happen, as guys did get released from the practice squad, and the Steelers are signing inside linebacker Jawan Bentley. He's a thumper, guys, again from the New England Patriots, and also it's looking like they might be bringing in Isaiah Hodkins. I think I heard that they said they were going to bring him in as well, Mike, and then also letting go Galbraith, Jarrett. So those are the moves going on right now. With the Pittsburgh Steelers, where they tried to improve between week 2 and week 3 to get ready for the New England Patriots. Of course, after that, we do head over the pond to play Minnesota and Ireland. Then we come home. We got 2 weeks off, we got our week off. So it'll be 2 weeks to the next game. And then after that, we start playing division games. So we were trying to figure out what the hell's going on, what's going on fast, because Mike, at the end of this period of time, we're going to be 6 games in once you get through these first couple division games. How far can we be behind the 8 ball, and how can we prevent that from happening as we move forward? Again, Mike, I don't see the competition getting any easier as we move along. We are going to be playing a lot of really good teams and some just, regularly good teams. And again, that concerns me because, again, I don't think the Jets were overall it's a great team. I don't think overall the Seattle Seahawks were a very good team. And the San Francisco team that has many injuries was able to score more points against Seattle than we were. So, there's definitely a lot of issues, guys. And again, we're going to get into that today. Yesterday, we touched on the defense. Today, we're going to get into the offense and so much more. Let's catch up on the board, though. I want to say good morning to everybody. Good morning, everybody. Phyllis Steele says, good morning, ping pongers. What's up, brother? Great seeing Phil on the board, as always. It's hump day. Corey says, hey, I'm bummed I missed your show yesterday. I was bedridden all day. All Steelers Talk is posting clickbait about signing another receiver. You guys heard anything about that? We did. It's this guy is Isaiah Hodgins. Hodgins. I got Hodkins, but whatever. So he's probably not going to be here in another week.
Yeah, he's not going to be here much longer. He hasn't done much in the end.
Did you make a point to correct me whenever I misspelled Raheem Jarrett? I wouldn't either because these guys aren't going to be around long. But
you know what I mean, brother.
Isaiah Hodgins, 6'4", 200 pounds, 6th-round pick out of Oregon in 2020. He's a former Giant and former Buffalo Bill. That is the scoop that we got on this young man. But also, Corey, we do know that we are signing. We were bringing in an inside linebacker who's also a former New England Patriot, Jawan Bentley, 7 seasons in New England, signing on the practice squad. From what I understand, until he gets caught up on the playbook, he's a 4-time captain and a Super Bowl champion, a physical thumper, 68 starts, 509 tackles. So I think they're bringing him in to try to fix what's going on the inside because Patrick and Peyton aren't getting it done. Which is a big part of this whole thing, being able to stop the run. You need to have middle linebackers that could, stop the run. So those are what I hear from everything going on down the social media stream right now, as far as that stuff going on. And then also we did release a couple guys. We did release J.J. Galbraith and then also Raheem Jarrett. They were released from the practice squad, and they had about a dozen. They had about a dozen people come in yesterday to try out and take a look at them. So that's where we're at. They're just trying to make sense of things, I guess. I don't know if they're going to bring anybody in off the streets. It's going to give you much more production from, the guys that you've been building with all off season to this point. So this is kind of where we're at. This is what we're looking at. I was kind of hoping that we would have won on Saturday or Sunday. I think that it might have at least kept us feeling a little bit more at peace out here. But it kind of does feel like things are falling apart a little bit, but still so early in the season. But that could be a double-edged sword as well. Still so early in the season could mean things could get better, but also still early in the season means things could get a lot worse.
Boom.
And as we do see on the schedule, guys, we have some pretty good damn teams coming down the pike. So, getting into this next game against New England, getting a win, I think is very important. Again, Minnesota, Mike, over the pond, they're missing some key players as well. And maybe next week we could also steal a win over there from them, come back and start playing division games. But guys, again, we'll get into all that today. Offense, Arthur Smith's offense, and a bunch more. Plus, again, everything that some things that Mike Tomlin said yesterday during the press conference that people found interesting. Mark Malone says, I may have been wrong about Roman. And that's what I was saying to Mike as we got on air, guys. Roman Wilson, this is something that everybody told us all off season. Don't worry about wide receiver 2. We got 2 guys. We're going to be better than wide receiver 2. We got Calvin Austin and Roman Wilson. We don't Arthur Smith's offense, you only need 1 receiver. 35 tackles or 35 tight ends, but 1 receiver. That's all you're going to need. You're not going to need because we have Roman Wilson. He's coming back. He was a national champion. This guy could run routes. Calvin Austin. This is all we heard. And as for 2 years now, we on the show pursued or talked about pursuing a wide receiver 2. For some reason, after 2 years, it hasn't been taken care of. Maybe it's the Arthur Smith offense that's slowing the process down. I don't know. Whatever it is, Roman Wilson has 1 catch for 7 yards this year. one catch for 7 yards, and Calvin Austin has one catch last week. And one more time, I'm just going to repeat it. One more. I did say it earlier. And the white guys, where were they last week? Does Miller or Skoranek, did they even have it? Did they even have a catch? Did they even get the ball thrown to him last week?
No, nothing, nada.
So I'm having a really hard time understanding this Arthur Smith offense, and I'm hoping that some people could help me understand it a little better today, because everything that I've been being told about this offense is either just bullshit, or it's not being executed anywhere nearly as close to what it should have been. And I thought, John O. Smith, he gets a couple catches, but for some reason I figured he was going to be a bigger weapon because they didn't go after a wide receiver too. I mean, he's been average at best. He's made a few plays. He got a touchdown in week 1, but everybody got a touchdown in week 1. We even scored on a jet sweep in week 1. So, how much can you really put into that? So, a lot of things about this offense, guys, a lot of questions about this offense, as we uncovered a lot of questions about the defense yesterday. And again, once we'll talk about this, and once we say what we said yesterday, I think you're going to see why them using Caleb Johnson as a scapegoat actually makes sense for them. But I think that it also becomes a little bit more obvious that there's bigger problems in this team than we thought there was going to be. Again, so a lot of things going on we're going to get into today, guys. Welcome back to the show. I do want to say, Mike, for the second day in a row, I do want to thank and throw a big shout out to our friends at Duquesne Pilsner. Duquesne Pilsner beer is fantastic. We drink it for every Steeler game here at 2W Yinzers Studio. They did us a big favor over the weekend for their tailgate party at Acrisure Stadium. They did mention us in 2 of their posts for the tailgate, and we've been talking to them a little bit in the past, and they did this for us. So today I wanted to make sure I displayed them and did them right. And I got my pyramid of cans back here, Mike. I have my can for close angles, and I do believe Mike also has his there that he probably drank already, or it's partially done.
It's partially done, brother.
Thank you so much at Duquesne Pilsner. As the can says, Mike, it's the finest beer in town. Try Duquesne Pilsner, everybody. All right, guys, let's get back to this. Let me get back on the board. Mark Malone says, need more paint. Scratch that. Need more keyboard duster.
Oh, he's going the organic route.
That's right. That keyboard duster, that ain't no joke, man.
Oh.
I got some. We only not get into them stories today, but
I'll give you
a hint. I met the devil one night, and it was not as pleasant as people think that it might be. But thanks to the keyboard duster, and that was many, many years ago. So,
last week.
Tortilla Jackson says Mike Tomlin, when asked about him going over the rules for kick returns, said they practice it every day. I feel like that's more on Danny Smith than Mike Tomlin. But again, Tortilla, as I said, the Ravens made a point. I'm sure it was a stab, but the Ravens made a point to say that we worked on this on day 1, which means this is something that you shouldn't be having a problem with, which I agree.
Yeah.
But if it does happen, it happened. And again, I really feel that he was the scapegoat for this game last week. As the team continues to let up 32 points a game, you're gonna blame a rookie for making a mistake. And again, we're gonna get into why the offense is a part of this problem as well here shortly. I'm gonna say, Corey Beavers, he says the Peppers move makes more sense now. We're getting insight on New England before we play them because he hardly played against Seattle from what I saw, but I watched that game with one eye open. Yeah, I don't even know if I think he was in there at 2 points. I seen him, but I think from what I'm hearing from yesterday's conference, he's going to be getting more action this week as he gets more acclimated with the defense.
He didn't play any defensive snaps from what I saw, but I know he was out there on special teams.
He was out there on the play that got messed up. Matter of fact, when the ball bounced over Caleb's head and the guy from Seattle jumped on it, Burr Peppers was the guy that came and jumped on him in the back of the end zone. Yeah. So again, I seen him at a couple points throughout the game. Tortilla says, yeah, Johnson shouldn't be back there, but no one thought he was going to just let the ball go. And that's the thing. It really was a freak thing.
Yeah, like one program I was watching, they're like, Caleb Johnson died, so the rest of the NFL returners know for sure what the rule is.
Yeah.
Like anytime there's a new rule, there's that one guy that has to completely fuck it up to where everyone goes, oh yeah, we know this. We know not to do this. And they're like, oh fuck, I'm glad he did it, not me.
And to be completely honest, returning kickoffs is a new thing. Before they changed this rule where everybody's actually returning kicks now, all you did was let the ball go over your head and out of the end zone.
Yeah.
So again, this isn't the worst mistake in the world. Yes, it's a boneheaded mistake. Yeah. Yes, he's probably never going to have it happen to him again. I could pretty much guarantee it. But again, you're letting up 32 points a game. You scored 1 touchdown this game. You hit your number 2 receiver one time.
Yeah.
You hit your other number 2 receiver 1 time in the first 2 weeks total. So again, guys, this goes way beyond Caleb. I think we could have fun with it, but at the end of the day, blaming that young man, that rookie who only played 1 full game at that point in his career, is hardly to blame for the Seattle Seahawks loss. Again, take that touchdown away. We still lose by 7. So again, we're getting into a lot of things today on why, what's going on with this team. We have to know. We have to figure it out. Corey says the thumbnail shows Darius Slayton. Sorry, I should have been more specific. Mark Malone says, can we just get rid of Mike Tomlin and hire the drunken street bum behind the gas station over here? We could try. Wasn't that the guy that tried to bite you, Mike?
I think so. I think so. I went back there to huff and paint and hope and duster in this scrawny little troll-looking thing out of my worst nightmares.
Let's get the guy that tried to bite you.
Arm.
Yeah,
I had to get a rabies shot, brother.
I want that guy.
I was almost ready to start foaming at the mouth and running away from water.
RB says the entire stopping the run thing is much simpler. Go to a 4-man front. Why not make the adjustment? And here's another thing, guys. All the talk about TJ Watt moving, I see it, you see it, but the numbers came out yesterday. He's lined up on the left-hand side 99 out of 103 snaps. So, yes, they're moving him around, but is that even enough to even make any difference? And for 2, they still continue to run away from him no matter what happens.
Yeah.
As they continue to pound the ball left, pound the ball left, pound the ball left. They put him on the left, again, 4 times in the first 2 games. Again, small doses, I guess. I don't know what the purpose is, but I guess we'll find out. So that's also something about on this defense that's going on. Some of the more of the bullshit we hear in the offseason, we're finding out not to be true. Maybe they'll do it in the future. Maybe we'll have a wide receiver in the future. I don't know. If not, I guess we could keep not throwing to Roman Wilson and not throwing to Calvin Austin and not throwing to the white guys. And again, something's got to give here. Something has got to give with this football team. I don't know what the hell's going on. They have way too much talent for things to be going this bad. Again, shouldn't they be undefeated? Should they be? I don't think they are a great team, but I think you have enough talent on this football field to be a good team. And what I'm seeing in these first couple of games, we didn't really look like a good team. We squeaked out against the Jets, and again, this game last week, we let out of our hands. And then we'll all blame the rookie that really. Let's continue on the board. Richard, my man, Richard Reno. Richard says maybe if the Steelers had real quality coaching, their players would be much better. Mark Malone says, no, this guy looks like Samuel L. Jackson from The Champ. Yeah, that's the guy that bit you, Mike. Remember, he looked like Samuel L.
I couldn't brother, I was on so many drugs and paint fumes and organic huffer. I don't know what I saw.
The thing was, he was okay when he bit you, but the shot at the hospital is what freaked you out. I'll never get you.
A little biting
never
hurts anyone, brother.
Phil the Steel says, has anyone seen 92's take on what's happening to our I did.
The guy who quit on our team, I don't listen to him.
Guy that runs 102 yards for a touchdown and an interception in the Super Bowl to keep you in the game. I will listen to him.
Quitter.
The top sack leader on the team until TJ Watt came. I'm going to listen to him, at least for a few things here. Corey Beaver says this. It's because AS is so tight end heavy and wide receiver 2 has always been irrelevant, but that's why he's only had 1 successful season with that philosophy. It makes me wonder why we hired him. But you know what, Corey, I've been saying this for 2 years, and everyone just keeps telling me how great he was in Tennessee. That's all I kept hearing back. Nobody really gave me any great details on this guy and his offense. Matter of fact, I still don't know what his offense is. And we're going to get into that today and trying to figure out what the hell's going on. His 3, 7, and 10 seasons, people told me all offseason, 7 and 10 as a head coach. That's good. And then they went, but you know what? Did you see what he did in Tennessee? I seen what he did in Tennessee, and guess what? Not everybody has a Derrick Henry to help that become a reality, as he did. But again, more things during the offseason that ended up being bullshit that I called bullshit and is turning out to be bullshit. Cody, my man, what's up, brother? Great seeing Cody Silva, as always. Always a superstar on the board. Cody is back. RB does say this. Again, we keep saying wide receiver 2. There's no wide receiver for 2 seasons, though. Remember back before Brandon Ayuk, we still didn't have a wide receiver 2. So in the last 2 calendar years, nobody became available, or we couldn't trade for somebody of interest, but we managed to grab 36 tight ends. This is what I'm saying. What's going on? We took care of the secondary. We brought a bunch of guys in that supposedly was going to fix everything on the defense. And again, we're kind of finding that's not the deal. Let me continue on, because sometimes I respond halfway through a text or a message, and then I see it answers itself, and then I'm like, oh shit, I just took 10 minutes. Let's see, and you get a wide receiver 1 and B in free agency, and you don't have a wide receiver 1A and B with the league's highest paid defense. And again, if this be the case, I would sure like to see my defense playing at a lot higher level than 29th in the league. If that's the case, if you don't have a wide receiver 2 and you're kind of depending on your defense a little bit more to carry the load, being 29th through 31 in all the major statistics is the worst case scenario you could possibly be in. And again, that's all. We're just trying to figure out what the hell's going on. We shouldn't be again 1-1. Okay, you could say Ryan, we're 1-1. It's 2 games into the season. But what I said after week 1, Mike, let's watch this litmus test in week 2, and then we can try to figure out if they can consistently play good football. Mm-hmm. But this was after I made the comment. I think they're going to go out and look better against Seattle this week. I think they're going to run better. I think they're going to stop the run better. And then we'll be able to monitor from there and see what it is they have to do. So we kind of took a step backwards, and maybe we are all right. But again, from right here, I see a lot of issues. Mark Malone says, from resurrecting the champ at Tortilla Jackson. Cody says, keep the same roster, change the defensive coordinator. It's got to be schematics. It has to be, to some degree, because again, old or not, these guys are playing good football. Jalen Ramsey's playing good football. As a matter of fact, I believe that Jalen Ramsey will be on the Pro Bowl team by what he's done already this year. If he goes average the rest of the year, Mike, I think from the first interception for the Steelers in game 2, in that hit heard around the NFL in week 1 that closed the door in the Jets game, enough people seen already what they've seen. His name is popular. I think so far what he's done in 2 weeks has already got him booked for the All-Pro game, unless something terrible happens or he deals with a big injury. But I think people seen that he's already being produced. He's getting things done in Pittsburgh. I think if he has an average season the rest of the way, Mike, I think Jalen Ramsey's going to be an All-Pro. I just do. That's the way the league works. At least pro sports generally work that way. It's more of a popularity contest. But again, even let's say Peyton Wilson isn't living up to the standard. With 10 other guys that are all pretty damn good. As I said yesterday, 9 of these other 10 guys all are kind of a big name. Yeah. With the exception of Keanu Benton. So, that should be able to soften the blow a little bit. But again, it's something just isn't adding up. And that's what everybody's trying to figure out right now. What the hell's going on? Go ahead, Mike. Do you want to make any comments before we do move further?
No. We're good. We're
okay.
good.
I know sometimes you have something to say, and then I move too far along, and it's like that.
Oh, no. You're good. If I had something to come in, I'd pull a derpy and just start talking.
Okay. Tortilla says it's early. Yeah, we need every win we could get, but it's not like we can't turn this around. Plenty of years we've started slow and found our groove, or vice versa. Hopefully we can get hot late. And I agree. I mean, we have no other choice, right? But at this point, we're going to be coming into a Bills game and 2 Baltimore games and a Chargers game and a Packers game, and we're going to say, say we lose, we're going to be like, man, we really should. We should have these other wins. So instead of sitting here at 6-6, we could have been 8-4 or whatever the case may be. So again, winning and getting good is something that I said early on, Mike. It's not happening. Yeah. We are 1-1. Again, we salvaged the win out of the first 2 weeks, but again, I think they leave a lot to be desired, and a lot of things need to happen to kind of turn things around. Again, you went out and you made, they didn't sit on their hands all off season. They went out there and they made amazing moves. Yeah. I'd never in my life would have thought Jalen Ramsey and DK Metcalf would be Steelers, let alone at the same time. Let's go to RB. RB says this past week was the photo negative of R.D. Smith's offense. This was Mike doing what Aaron wanted to do. I like Aaron as quarterback, but how do we know this is going to change? How do we know?
How do we know this is what Aaron wanted?
Right, and here's the thing: everything we've been told has been bullshit so far. Everything. Again, we don't need a wide receiver 2. I mean, that's kind of weird. Why would you need a wide receiver 2 in the NFL? We have a wide receiver too. Don't worry. Roman's coming back. He's coming back. 1 catch, 7 yards in 2 games. And again, Calvin Austin, not much more. So again, every single thing that seems to be said turns out being bullshit. We're trying to figure it out just like everybody else is.
Oh, no, after the first game, though, we were all ranting and raving how, oh, shit, man, Calvin Austin's looking good out there, running good. Chris Brown's getting open, making plays. But then after one game where he's dropped, oh, he fucking sucks.
Well, think about what you just said.
It's a huge extreme.
Well, think about what
it's got to be somewhere in the middle of what the actuality is.
So if we can't say, oh, it's bad after the second game.
Oh, no, we can say it's bad.
Then well, hold on. Then it wouldn't be fair to say it was good after the first game. So what I'm saying is this evens out. And it's not, come on. How many catches does Calvin have so far, Mike? Could you look it up real quick? It's not many.
Yeah, I got this. It's running slow. I got like so many windows open.
Go ahead. I'll continue, and then you just grab that statistic because I'm not sure. I know that Roman Wilson has 1 catch for 7 yards, and this was why we shouldn't worry about a wide receiver too, because Roman's coming back. He missed his whole rookie year, but he'll be back. On top of that, Calvin Austin missed his whole rookie year with injuries. So we're going on with 2 little guys who've had nothing but injuries. Is why we don't need a wide receiver too. I'm just making that clear. I'm just trying to figure it out.
5 catches, 92 yards, a touchdown.
All right, 5 catches, 6 catches between your 2 guys that are making up the wide receiver 2, for a total of 99 yards. 2 catches, I mean.
DK Metcalf, 7 catches, 103 yards. So him and Calvin Austin are right in line.
Stop, but you're ruining what I'm about to get into. Now stop.
Okay.
I'm trying to lead this to somewhere.
Okay.
Now, with that being said, does anybody know who the number 1 receiver on this football team is? Does anybody know who the number 1 receiver on this football team is, guys? Again, our number 1 is DK. Mm-hmm. Again, our number 2, I think, is Roman or Calvin or
Calvin. Maybe.
Oh, he's not. The number 1 receiver on this team, guys, is Jaylen Warren. Jaylen Warren has 4 or 5, I think 5 yards more than DK Metcalf after 2 games. Kudos for Jaylen Warren. Poo-poo for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Again, if this was carrying us, and don't get me wrong, the 65-yard run he had last game was beautiful. I could watch that over and over and over and over until my eyes fall out of my head. But number 1 dropped ample passes in this past game. I can remember 3 right off the top of my head that were in his hands. And then the number 2, the 2-headed monster, they equal about 6 foot tall between the both of them. 5 catches and 1 catch. And again, guys, this is why we didn't need the wide receiver 2. Just another thing that might have been bullshit. But again, the Arthur Smith offense was going to be, that's why this was going to be okay. Again, your number 1 receiver. We're going to go on about how great Calvin Austin looked in week 1. Well, if he was doing that great, maybe he would be the number 1 receiver. He's not. He's behind the running back. He's behind another receiver. So, again, things aren't they definitely aren't wonderful. Let's jump back on the board. I'm going to go right here. Phyllis still says, so far I've seen Fire Austin. So far I've seen Fire Austin for now. Fire Austin, Cody said. Corey says, I'm going to listen to anything the Ravens say. Their quarterback choked and big. But we respect this organization, and they respect us, and it's a the brothers, basically the physical brothers in this division. So yes, it was a poke. Yes, it was a stab.
Yeah, you're going to give shit. You're going to give shit to your rival.
But do we not deserve it? Why did this kid not know this? You can't expect him just to know. He has to be taught. Especially with the rules. He's been watching NFL the last 4 years when he was in college, more than likely, or how many years? I'm sure he didn't see many kickoffs come out of the end zone because of the rules. And again, he makes a mistake after 1 game. Again, why aren't these things known on this team? Why does this seem to be the going theme on this football team?
So we just now believe every other team when they say, well, we practice it, so therefore the Steelers.
Well, I haven't seen any other team do what we just did. Okay.
Just want to make sure. I just want to make sure every time we make a mistake, no one in the NFL makes that mistake, and they all practice it. And
nobody made that mistake. You're right. You're 100% right. We're the only team that made that mistake.
I just want to make sure.
So that's clear. Okay. Nobody else did it. Just us. So they all apparently know what the hell they're doing, and we don't.
Yeah.
Again, he's a rookie. You got to teach him. He don't know. He played college rules last year. Corey Beaver says, I'm sorry, we did get that one. he says, games you're trained to play in. So, and he was starting back there. It wasn't like he was somebody they just stuck in at a pinch. This guy should have known what the hell was going on. Or don't put him back there. You don't want to put somebody else at a tackle because he's a guard. You don't want to let somebody play tight. Come on, teach these guys. Cody said, Austin, I like that. Feel the steel. There we go. Tortilla says, no, Ryan, we should have lost 25-17. I'm being sarcastic. TA, goofy as fuck. TA, Terrell Austin. Huh?
I was answering the question for you.
After I
got it. Yeah, I said it. We said it at the same time.
Okay. Phyllis still says Canada was fired. What?
Nothing.
Are you derpy? Stop.
I'm not.
I'm reading mid-sentence and you start making weird noises. Phyllis still says Canada was fired for sucking as offensive coordinator. Fire Austin now for sucking his defense before the real season starts. Under the Steelers' terms, the real season is going to be your halfway point. So, again, maybe the guys should have been playing more and practicing more when they had a chance to play real game speed and things like that. But, again, I can't imagine whose ideas it was to not do that, but we'll continue to move forward. Tortilla says, I bet Johnson was hoping the ball would go out of the back of the end zone. And then when it didn't, he probably just acted like I think that's what happened. And again, just a mix-up of not, totally being acclimated, and he got thrown back there immediately. In preseason, he was back there a little bit. So again, this was obviously something that was never touched on, or if it was, as you said, he probably felt that it was going out, which I ultimately thought was probably the deal when it happened. And then once it didn't, he probably thought, fuck, I really effed that up. Cody says, I honestly don't even care about the offense. They sucked ass for years. What the fuck is going on with our defense? I know this is offense day. I know you're right. You're all right, man. Defense, offense. Your guess is as good as mine at this point with this defense. RB says, we know what's wrong with this team, but no one wants to admit it. All these problems have one common denominator. And I think a lot more people are finally starting to flow in that direction because nothing else is really making sense. What the hell can we do to fix this team? My man, Jamal, what's up, brother? Always great seeing you, sir. Jamal says, what up, fam? Always great having you on the board. Great seeing you. Hope your hump day is going well. Cody is saying that Terrell Austin sucks. Phyllis still says, okay, it's offense day, and the question is Arthur Smith, and I already answered that question. And, yeah. Well, you know what? You might have got confused that it was offense day because Mike actually spelled offensive day on the thumbnail. And I could see how one could be confused by that. When I read it as offensive, I didn't see it as offensive because there's wrong letters and
make one tiny mistake and you never live it down.
Jamal says, why do we feel like moving him around, or why do we feel like moving him around is better if he himself knows he doesn't want to move around and it doesn't make it better? Yeah, we're learning that, aren't we? We all just got to thought. Go ahead, Mike.
Didn't Watt say he wanted to move around?
I don't know. This was a whole new thing in this offseason because he didn't prior to this season, but now they kind of came down on him. All of a sudden, he wanted to.
Yeah.
And again, it's a measly 99. Four times they moved him from the left side in the first two games. 99 out of 103 snaps, he was on his regular side. So do what you want with it, but whether it's effective or not, it's really not being executed. So we'll continue to see what the hell they're doing. Feel the Steel really piling on after the CBS Pick'em, Mike. He says, Richard, and this is not me. This is totally Phil. Phil the Steel says, Richard, hold on. I think I got to sneeze. He says, Richard, loser.
Damn.
Which, hey, again, any of us could be the biggest loser any given week. Last week, Richard only, again, by 1 point, but he did land on the bottom. So Phil the Steel's letting him have it.
Build them up and then just tear them down.
Right. But Jamal, you're right. Way too much talent. We are too old. But again, they should be better than what they're doing. And also, again, with the veterans, they should be smarter and they should be able to execute better. And they should the experience should help. And those things aren't seeming to help. Mike Cara, welcome back to the board. He says, old as fuck. No, you're right. They are. But again, these other teams don't have anything, anything amazing going on. It isn't, again, we haven't played Josh Allen. We haven't played Lamar. We haven't played Herbert. We haven't played Love. So, I mean, there's going to be a lot bigger challenges down the road. You would like to do as well as you can in these particular games to oil, to oil up and get ready and get ready for the big games. But no, Smith does suck so far. I do agree with you. And again, we're getting into that offense today, which again, I don't know if I entirely even understand what this offense is. Fearless still says, quit on the team, played balls out helping get 2 rings. Oh, there you go with the James Harrison.
He did. He quit on the team at the end. He's like, I'm taking my ball and I'm going home.
All right, there you go. Look better first game. Absolutely. They did. They sure did. And you know what? If they would have won this one, we wouldn't be bitching this much. We'd be like, okay, they got to work on this. They got to work on that. But as long as they continue to win, we're going to be fine and blah, 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 blah.
It's a Steelers loss. It's the end of the world. That's how
Absolutely.
we all act.
Absolutely.
Because goddamn it, we're irrational fans. I love it.
Corey says, hey, 3-7-10 season. Tomlin likes pillars of consistency. You're right. He didn't win 5 games, 7 games, and then 9 games. At least they were all, it was consistent across the board. RB says, Ryan, I will email you Friday. I can't begin to explain the Artie Smith offense with less than 150. That's all right, man. Yeah, send me it over. I have to understand what at least what they're trying to do, because I don't see it by watching the games. As a matter of fact, a lot of the things that I heard that it was going to be in the offense, Arthur Smith's offense, hasn't been done at all.
RB,
Michael,
if you send that over, do I have permission to post it up on our website too?
Mike will handle all this stuff off the air. Well, he's going to email.
The way my brain's going today, brother, I would forget the entire conversation.
Let me see. Mike says Colin should be fired. I don't know if you're being facetious or you're being serious, because again, I think he's been one of the more aggressive GMs that we've ever had. And again, I can't imagine any Steeler GM from the past would have done half the moves that we made. Again, they seen a team that didn't look very well last year. They traded out basically 11 starters, brought in 11 new starters with signings, free agents, and such. And I have to see a little bit more failure before I want Omar Khan, because I think he's putting in the work. I truly do feel that Omar Khan is putting in a lot of work. I don't think that this is where the failure is coming from. But you're right, the defense is playing horribly, and for all the reasons that they shouldn't be playing horribly, they are. Again, they make a lot more money than any other defense in the NFL. You have the best player in the NFL, T.J. Watt, as they tell us. Also, Mike Tomlin is a defensive-minded head coach in a star-studded. Again, 9 out of 11 guys on our defense right now would be considered a star, I think, in some capacity. So, again, to be letting up 32 points a game it's unacceptable. And to be 29-32 in all the major stats, unacceptable. But we'll still continue to blame the scapegoat kid who played 1 game and didn't know the rule. But that's the direction things are going right now. Hopefully we can get that to change. Mike also goes on to say that Benton is not a nose tackle. I agree, dude. This guy is too small. He's too slow. He doesn't finish. When he does get in, Mike, he doesn't finish plays.
Yeah.
He made a tackle one day. I can't even remember which game it was. And I thought, wow, there you go. That's the way you finish it. But I thought how few and far between that was. I haven't seen him finish a play in ever.
Yeah, because if he flashes through the D line, like he just whiffs on the tackle. Like, dude, what are you doing? You're there.
What are you doing?
You're there. You're there. Make the fucking tackle.
Let's see. Tortilla says, I think it's because a lot of wide receiver 2s are getting wide receiver 1 money. Well, here's the thing. They're paying tens of millions of dollars on this defense that isn't doing it. Maybe we're barking up the wrong tree. Maybe the teams that have the good receivers are figuring out what the deal is. But we're certainly not. And the way we're spending money isn't quite we got discount double check back there. Our quarterback, who was MVP a dozen years ago, we're paying him nickels on the dollar from what he makes. So, I mean, we have this whole thing going on, and again, I don't know if it's going to be good enough to do what we want to do this year, guys. But also, Tortilla says this: wide receiver 3 or wide receiver 2 to save money might work in a theory, but not for a 17-week season, right? It's a long, hard season. You need to have a good team put together. You can't just throw a team together and hope the best. RB says there is nothing to figure out. Anyone who don't think this is a Mike Tomlin issue needs to take the rose-colored glasses off. 4 seasons and we're still hearing about communication and prep issues. Richard says, I'm not into moral victories. I'm into victories. Mike says Ramsey got cooked over and over by a rookie that never caught a ball in the NFL. He got burnt for a touchdown on.
That was scheme right there.
Didn't that happen the same exact play the last game prior?
Oh yeah, to Slay. Yeah, playing
same
off,
look, same
playing
play.
off man,
in
drag. Yeah, but he was getting cooked a lot on the inside when fucking JSN and Cooper Kupp were just those crouching routes. He couldn't keep up with them.
There was another concern.
They were boom, inside catch.
Jalen Ramsey and Joey Porter Jr. all off season. I went to number 1 man. No, I'm taking a number 1 man. No, I went to number 1 man. No, I'm number 1 man. Well, guess what? You covered the rookie who has never caught a pass in the league, and he scored a touchdown on you when you covered him. See what I'm saying? Like, so much bullshit in the offseason. Getting tired of being fed the bullshit with this team. Mark Malone says number 1 paid defense. Worst performing defense in the league. Gee, I wonder what the problem could be. Tortilla says that RB, don't act like injuries don't play a part of the issue. But again, everybody deals with injuries, don't they? Buffalo has injuries. But you know what? Buffalo's quarterback broke his nose last week. Josh Allen broke his nose on the field. They popped his nose back into place, and he went out there and won the football game. Our guy, he strained his vagina, and he's out for 7 weeks. If these were a different team, would things be different? I don't know. It's hard to tell, guys. Mike says put in Holcomb. You know what? I guess Holcomb's solid, but he's another one. I think once he gets too much playing time, he gets hurt. He's another one that has never not been hurt.
Yeah.
So again, let's go with it. Let's play him. I'm all for it if he's going to get production. But again, I'm not giving that guy too much of a period of time. The guy's never not been hurt in this league.
Yeah, he looked real hesitant too last week.
He sure
real
did.
Hesitant.
Instead of going in for the tackle, he stayed 8 yards back and waited for the guy to get to him. That's one thing you learn in Mighty Mites.
Yeah.
You go to the ball. RB says Tortilla injuries aren't a Pittsburgh only problem. Okay, see that. Martin Malone says, Lord, I think some people actually believe that field is steel. Right here, RB says, I know this is what Aaron wanted to do because of the shotgun percentage. Already doesn't run more than 45% under the center. Now 75% this week. No, that wasn't already. It's kind of easy to determine. So this is another problem then. Is it Arthur Smith's offense or is it Aaron Rodgers' offense? This is just another. Why don't we get the shit figured out and straightened on this team? Maybe the running back could start calling the plays next week, Mike. Hey, what about DK Metcalf? He's been in the league for a while. Let's let him start calling plays. The center knows what's going on. Maybe he could call a play or two. Well, why not? We don't know. We don't know who the offensive coordinator is at this point. Is it Aaron? Is it Arthur? Is it Coach Tomlin? Let's do C. Cody says this. Cody says Ramsey didn't get cooked over and over. Austin shitty play calling has one safety high, the other covering a tight end. One wide receiver runs across over the middle. The other goes deep, and the safety has to decide which one to go after. And then Cody follows it up by saying, so no one was covering the middle of the field to help out. Mike, there you go. No coverage in the middle of the field. I can't believe that happened on a Steeler defense.
Oh, for 44 years of my life of watching football, I've never fucking seen anyone. Even with the great Dick LeBeau covering the playing calls, I watched 3rd and 17, 3rd and 25 get completed right in the middle of the field. It's a Steeler. That's a Steeler problem right there. That shit's happened my entire life, and it makes me want to jump off the fucking Clemente Bridge.
Our Burley says, when a head coach who has control issues invokes those control issues when the past history patterns disappear, something else emerges out of nowhere. Let's not act like we didn't see this. Cody says CBS can't play outside the wide receiver. That's how big plays happen. Jaylen Warren, guys, I just want to remind you, Jaylen Warren is our top wide receiver on this football team right now. He has more yards than DK Metcalf. Again, it's going to change. I understand that.
Modern day Lev Bell.
RB says BA, Haley, Fitchner, either there would be drives, halves, games, or stretches where you could see the OC philosophy magically changes radically. It's kind of obvious is what's going on. Mark Malone says, Art Burley, we had 30 plus hung on us the past 2 weeks. Should we have lined up in the eye? Cody says, I'm actually cool with Warren being wide receiver 1.
He makes something happen with the ball in his hand.
Listen, I'm not complaining about his production. I'm complaining about everybody else in the wide receiver room and the offensive coordinator and the schematics and the game plan and the patterns and just creating separation and everything that goes into being a football player. And you're right. Right now, Warren looks like he's one of the only actual football players on this field.
I just Calvin Austin's on pace for like 780 yards. That's pretty good wide receiver 2 numbers right there.
After 5 how many catches? 7 catches?
6 catches?
6 catches in 2 games is not wide receiver 2 numbers.
5 catches. I'm sorry, 5 catches.
Even better.
18.4 average. You know, he's
6 catches between 2 guys that are supposed to be your number 2 after 2 full games of offense that sputtered in the second game. It didn't. Again, Roman Wilson got 1 ball thrown to him for 7 yards. 1 ball, 1 catch. And this was supposed to be the answer for not having a wide receiver 2. Why they didn't go after a wide receiver 2 years in a row? Not just 1, 2 years. There were ample people available. They just chose not to take a wide receiver 2 because of Arthur Smith's offense. So again, we're learning a lot about this team, guys. Who the fuck is running that locker room right now? Coaches, players, the water boy, Aunt Peaches. Who? Feel the Steel is saying.
Aunt Peaches.
Might be.
That's why they're all so tired.
Also,
do I have to spell it out?
I was thinking about something else, but I tuned in at the right time. RB says, Mark, this was nothing of any resemblance to week 1 offense. If you think it was, stop talking and stick to drinking during the game. None of those schemes, and I think it's Duster. Actually, it's not drinking.
It's Duster, and it's heat. Get it right. Get it right,
Duster.
RB.
But he says none of those schemes from week 1 carried into week 2. Well, some of them did, and I seen them got burnt with the same thing twice. Matter of fact, the play that Ramsey got burnt for the touchdown. Again, as Mike said, it was Slay that was the same exact play from the week before. They ran it. It worked to perfection. As the rookie catches his very first pass, was a touchdown against Jalen Ramsey, the guy that wanted to cover the number 1 all year. Just throwing it out there, not talking shit, just throwing out what I. Mark Malone says, sure. And then RB says, when you're down 3 to 10 points, you don't say fuck it and change the game plan. 2 possessions isn't shit.
Well, the offense ain't doing shit. You got to change something up.
Phyllis still says, I see offensive wide receiver numbers higher than ours. Looking at other wide receivers they're playing as they are coached. Accountability, vanilla accountability is what Phil is saying on the board. Richard says, the offense has been offensive or aggressive or whatever that is that Mike wrote on the thumbnail. Mike, is it true that this offense is aggressive to you?
It is. It's aggressive to me. It is so aggressive to me.
Cody says this. Cody says, do you think they will fire Tomlin? Or I see TA. Is that
Austin?
Oh, defensive coordinator. My bad. Throw us a midseason. You know what? They may. I didn't think that would be the case before the season started, but as I said, 32 points. Again, he's one guy. I mean, what are we going to be giving up against teams that got good offenses? Like 52. Like who gave up 52 last? Somebody gave up 52.
Chicago.
Points. What are we going to be? Chicago when we start playing good teams? So something's got to give, and we got to figure it out fast, guys. Again, we don't want to be 1-3 going into the bye. Christophus, what's up? Always great seeing Christophus on the board. He says if Keanu Benton, is at nose tackle on Sunday, Carl Dunbar needs to go. I agree. Let's throw. They had Y.A. Black in there this week.
I went ukulele in the middle.
Ukulele. He was certainly aggressive in the game. So at some point we got to try something. But I know for 3 years, Mike, we've been going on about Keanu Benton needs to turn that corner and become that player, and it's been 3 years that he hasn't done it. So nobody's buying into the Keanu Benton thing anymore, unfortunately. Which I guess not unfortunately, because I guess the writing's on the wall. It is what it is. Corey says, my question is, when returners see the ball coming, why don't both return men run to where the ball is going and act as support in case the ball does bounce like that? I just think because the league is so fast, so they want to get the guy out front to block because those other guys are coming downhill fast, and that's more than likely why. You don't want two guys maybe bumping into each other or running into it or causing commotion. Maybe let's with the one guy, the guy that's going to return it, the other guy block. That's my guess. Aaron, what's up, brother? Aaron Jade on the board. He says we need to call Stephon Tuitt. That was the last time we were decent on defense. Boy, was he tough. Tuitt and who's the other guy? Mike
Hargrave and
Vince
Clam.
Williams was a pretty good player on that.
He was the bench. Bench was the middle backer.
Yeah. What's good, Vegas? Always great seeing Vegas on the board.
Yes.
As always. Phil the Steel says, irrational fans, vanilla. You lucky I ate a Snickers, man.
I'm one of the most irrational fans around. So
and a diva. So
a diva, a hypocrite. So when I say it's like a term of endearment.
And there you go, Mike. RB says anything I send can be posted on there.
All right, cool. Thanks, brother. I don't want to put stuff out there that's without permission. Kind of like Ryan's nudes.
My what?
Nothing.
No, seriously, what do you say?
I said like Ryan's nudes.
My nudes.
Your nudes. Nudes, pubes, whatever.
Well, we learned our lesson last time, didn't we, Mike?
Yeah, we did.
Christopher says our best he says our best down three are Derek Harmon, Y.A. Black, and Cam Hayward. I agree. One guy we're hoping to get back as soon as we can. Yeah. I want to see more Y.A. Black because the more he gets, the more he plays, he's going to do better. He's going to get practice. He's going to figure shit out. He's going to see looks. He's going to do what he does and develop his game. And Cam at this point, so you're right. I mean, those are the best three players on this defensive line. I can't think of anybody else that that you're going to put in over those three guys at this point. Again, we got to get Derek Harmon back. We got to get him back, Mike. Again, another year with a rookie being out so much time has been way too common on this football team. And that has to change, Mike. We got to get something going. Feel the Steel. Phil the Steel says, Phil, chill, Phil. It will happen. Chill, Phil. Mark Malone says Benton needs to start playing like Peaches is lined up behind him with the strap on. AKA another Saturday night. AKA another Saturday night at Derpy's house, I think is what you're saying.
I think so. Keep things close in that family.
Corey says, I'm not saying wide receiver 2 is going to fix everything, but you're going to sign one that matters. Don't you want another playmaker? Don't you want somebody that can make plays in a game where you score one touchdown? That's all I'm saying. Why people keep telling me the wide receiver 2 isn't important? It's a whole position. You might as well not have the second baseman in baseball because we're good enough. We could win without a second baseman. Maybe we'll bring a kid in from the bleachers. He could play. That's what I'm saying. You're a pro football team in the NFL. Put a team together. Get positions filled. They certainly wasted no time grabbing, 30 other tight ends and other things. So what's the problem? But Arthur Smith's offense was going to make it all better. Nobody's ever seen anything like this offense, Mike. This is going to blow the top off the league, is what I hear.
It's going to change the paradigm of the NFL.
He says it's not the wide receiver 2 is going to fix everything. You're going to sign one that matters. So they'll be caught up to speed to make a difference on this team and not end up like Mike in 2024. John, what's up, dude? Always great seeing John on the board. Steal a freak, the man. He says Rodgers is running the offense, not Smith. Ryan is right. It's just really confusing what's going on right now. And again, I think the team is becoming confused ultimately. You're not just I don't know. Let's see. Jamal says sprained his vagina. I just died laughing. Just to work. Well, hey man, glad I could make your work day a little better for you. I definitely could feel that. Anthony Picano says, why do we keep playing Benton a nose tackle? He's not large enough to be the nose, yet they continue to stubbornly play him there. Mike, go ahead. You handle this one.
It's just like what they do, man. They are stubborn. They never want to change, and it's frustrating. You can see, yeah, they have the vision of him being that quick nose guard that can blow past the center, left or right, and force a guard to get there. But it doesn't work. And when it does work, when he gets to the backfield, he can't finish the play. The coaches were saying that all off season. Yeah, we just need Keanu to finish a play, and he still has yet to finish a play once he gets past someone. If he gets past someone, it's just the vision that they have of him being that quick, shifty nose guard. It ain't happening. Put YA Black's big booty right there and let him go to town, or put Ukulele in there and let him go to town. They got to change
where that Ukulele. He wants to play. There's about 4 guys out there that look like they really want to play football. Jalen Warren, as I said, I think Patrick Queen stepped it up. I don't know whether he's the guy that we thought that he was when he came here or not. He stepped it up from week 1. Again, he didn't play an amazing game, but Ukulele, I think he wants to play. There's about a handful of guys that you could tell really want to play football. Some of the other guys seem like they're still getting around to it at this point. Phyllis Steele says Vanilla calls us irrational fans, but as Steeler fans in the first game at Heinz Field, we expected a great coach game, and the Steelers played like a peewee football team. Boom!
Boom!
John says only 14% play action pass last week. And you know what? That one play action was freaking beautiful. My God. I talked about that yesterday as we was getting ready to go off the air, Mike. That was one of the best. That was one of the best play action fakes I've ever seen in my life. The way that guy just took off. That was beautiful.
Yeah, but the effectiveness of the play action plays were not good.
Wasn't that the big Pat Freiermuth catch? I think that was the same play.
No, that one was a check down. We ended up doing a check down on that play action.
What's the highlight the bunch yesterday? Whatever. Anyway, only 14% play action last week. That is what Smith wants to run. Rodgers, like Ben at the end, doesn't want to turn his back on the D. He wants to quickly process and make quick throws. I mean, you blame him? The guy that's watching his back doesn't know what position he plays.
Yeah. When we're like 27th in sack percentage at like 9.2%, I think it was one of the highest in the league. You got to get the ball out quick, but there's no running game. Like Seattle had the run game stuff, and they weren't fooled for the run game, so play action's got to go out the window that game. We bitch that the team doesn't adjust, then we adjust to what the other teams do, and then it's bitching about so-and-so's now controlling the offense.
Yeah, I kind of disagree with that in a sense, Mike. I think that it's eventually going to get to that point, but it really seems like they're playing off of Rodgers' reputation. Because, again, the play action that I seen was amazing. I mean, there was the one obvious play where the guy just kept running, but there was a couple other times through the course of the game where I seen nice play action just because of, I mean, it's not because we have a great running game. I think it's because the reputation of Rodgers and he just has a really nice play action apparently. But I think that changes because teams are going to watch film. They're going to see that and they're going to say, well, this team isn't running the ball. Why is everybody biting so hard on the play action? Let's make the adjustments. And I'm sure people will. They'll make the adjustments rather easily.
Yeah. When you're only getting 62 yards a game, which is next to last in the NFL, that's not conducive to a play action offense.
John says Rodgers prefers. Hold on, did I miss something? Warren takes the ball to the 4-yard line, finish the drive. Phil still says Warren takes the ball to the 4-yard line, finish the damn drive with a Warren touchdown pass. Now let's try the pass on the goal line, 4th and 1. Let's get Steeler Nation wild and go for it and show balls and punt. John says Roger prefers Gainwell, hence he gets so many snaps. Smith is just a clipboard holder now. RB says, Thunder, it's not good. It's not good football. You spend all week game planning to go down 10-7 in the second and say, F it. It's if it were running shotgun 70% of the time. Now it's not good football.
So adjusting is not good football.
John says they fired Canada because there was mutiny in the locker room. Not because the fans wanted it. It all went together, though. But I think the pressure certainly played a role because they kept Canada for some time when he stunk. You know what I mean? But I think it was a little bit of both. But you're more right. RB says the objective is to win the game, not fill the stat sheets ultimately, and it's harder to do either by going off game plan, especially when you're not built to be a air raid team. Grab a couple more here, Mike, and we're going to get into some new topics as we do move along here. John says firing Austin will result in nothing. That is Tomlin's D. Wake up. RB says no one's saying it's not important, and we're saying it's not worth $24 million a season. Phil Steele says, all right, fellas, this is what I can't wait to hear. Ready? Fire Tomlin, fire Tomlin, fire Tomlin. I can't wait. Tortilla says, I had to leave for lunch, but I never got to respond. RB, it's not just a Pitt problem, but it's a huge problem in Pittsburgh. Injuries have held us back for years and are a clear reason for miscommunication. You know what, Mike? We've made a point of that many times. It's just how many freaking injuries this team deals with. Yes, injuries are around the league, but I've never seen our Steelers go through a 5-year period of time like we just went through, where the rookies miss entire seasons year after year. Fatanu last year. The year before that was Calvin Austin the whole entire year. The year before that it was Corey Trice the whole entire year. This year, we already got our number one pick, our first round pick. He's been, he hasn't played a single snap in regular season. It's just unbelievable. It's never been this bad. And again, you see this happen to other teams, and you say, wow, how do teams survive that keep dealing with these injuries? We don't have that. So that's why we do okay. We're certainly in those shoes right now because, again, this is worse than it's ever been. Yeah. Worse than it's ever been.
Yeah. And it's like, Roman Wilson never hurt in college. A high ankle sprain and then a foot injury. Calvin Austin, I don't think he was hurt much in college, gets a foot injury. Troy Fatanu, I forget what his injury was. Then, Harmon, his was just, a basic football play, just got twisted over. It's like, my God, it's like this stupid shit. I can understand that, like muscle pulls and shit like that, but it's like ligaments and bones breaking. Like, what the fuck?
RB says, Mike idea of what he wants in a nose tackle isn't what the nose tackle job is. The nose tackle is to be an offensive lineman for middle linebackers. Yet we want to pass rush nose tackle and run and chase middle linebackers. Just shows Mike lack of football knowledge. Again, this is a defensive coach, guys. I thought this wasn't supposed to be issues for us. It's certainly not this far into his career. I mean, there should be a lot of things that he should be doing pretty naturally at this point, and I don't know. RB follows it up by saying that's what happens when you have a coach from a cover 2 system when it's front 4 rush the quarterback, back 7 stand there and watch the quarterback. It's kind of dummy proof. Anyone can be a coach in cover 2 system. Christopher says this. He says, if we don't get a wide receiver 2 by the trade deadline, then we're not all in on this season, which is crazy, right, Christopher? Because everything would have indicated that we were kind of all in. I mean, the defense that we put together is something I've never seen in this, certainly a Steeler team. We've always been a homegrown kind of team, draft and all this and that. They certainly acted like it was a all-in season. But again, you're right. We still don't have a main position, a main skill position. We're just going to throw these guys in there and call them. Again, these guys are about 3 foot tall. These guys, Roman Wilson has one catch after 2 weeks. Corey says, I don't think Aaron is running this team because the look of his face when the plays fall apart. Arthur, you effing moron. I never called that shit.
Again, Aaron Rodgers' face before the game. I knew right away we were going to lose. Oh, God damn it. See, look. Art Rooney is out to get me. He's silencing me.
You notice that why does every helmet that Aaron Rodgers wears look goofy on his head? I think he's just a goofy.
Like Kazoo.
He does look like Kazoo. He's a pinhead, like a bowling pin. This guy. No matter what helmet he has, even the helmet he liked in Green Bay for 100 years, he looked goofy. Then he went to the Jets. He looked like a goofball, and now he's he all these issues in the offseason. I can't wear that. I can't wear this. One more here. Let's get Phil Steele, and then we're going to get into a couple other new topics here as we do go along. Phil Steele says the injuries is your fault, freaking Ryan, with your over/under weekly injuries. Your fault. You know what, Mike? We've been doing this ever since the injury bug started. You know what we'll do one week? We'll not do a devastating injury on our overs and unders, and we'll see how that plays out.
Could we do that this week, please?
Maybe if you're good. If you behave yourself.
Well, that's kind of hard.
Because Rodgers has such a big fucking head. Welcome to the board, Jen. It's always great seeing Jen on the board.
Figuratively and literally.
I don't know.
Why are you talking about?
I think it's his pinhead because again, it's the way the helmet fits. It doesn't look like it's a big head.
Yeah,
it looks like the helmet's just it's just I don't know. It's odd.
And I can't believe Jen's talking about her best friend like that.
And finally, Corey says, remember, Aaron is the ultimate conspiracy theorist. If he knew we were going to lose before the game, then his face pregame would say it all, right? With the poker face, I guess. Bad poker face with those big lemur eyes. I don't think goes together well. Mike, let's get into some other things as we do go along here. These are some things that was said yesterday at the press conference, if you will, the Mike Tomlin press conference. I'm going to hit this one first. Mike Tomlin says, we're just trying to win football games. We're not focused on offensive identity, which I think goes hand in hand. I think you got to have have to have an identity or something that you're trying to do to impose your will. Otherwise, you're playing on your heels and you're reacting to what the other team is doing. And I think that's a problem because that's what I seen in the first two games, Mike. And I mentioned that the defense isn't playing proactive. The defense is reacting. Yeah. And you're not going to impose your will. You're just going to continue to do what they're doing and try to stop it. I agree.
It's like you're trying to win games and find your identity at the same time to say, this is what we're doing to win. So this is what we did well, and that's what got us to win. So that's going to be our identity. I'm not a big fan. I'd like to know, am I a pass happy first half of the game type team, and then I'm just going to grind you out.
That's the thing. The thing that I think people are starting to think, like maybe he doesn't know, and that's really bad because again, what's been the identity of this team for the last 10 years? We have no identity.
We just play tight football.
Just react to what everybody else is doing.
We just play. We keep the game close, and we get a big play on offense, big play on defense, or a Boswell field goal. That's been our identity since Ben retired.
So some more great things, some more classic lines from the Mike Tomlin press conference. You're not going to want to miss this, guys. Stick around. Mike Tomlin also says during the conference yesterday, Mike, that he feels great. He feels great about the offensive line play, Mike. Head coach Mike Tomlin feels great about the offensive line play, according to him yesterday.
I feel encouraged about how they got better from week 1 to week 2. I would not say great there, Mike. I would have said I felt encouraged by the improvement I saw. We still have ways to go to get where we want to be. These guys need to step it up. That should have been your quote.
Also, this one I think you guys are going to like. You ready for this? When Mike Tomlin yesterday at his press conference was asked about accountability, he was being pressed on accountability. This was Mike Tomlin's response. He says this: "You don't ask a fish to climb a tree, you just let it swim." Okay, so if that isn't enough to make me chuckle a little bit, I followed up because it was such a ridiculous response to the accountability issues. Again, this is what Mike Tomlin says: "You don't ask a fish to climb a tree, you just let it swim." So I took to the streets, and I wanted to see what people were saying about this, Mike. This is some of the things that people said about Tomlinism of as of yesterday, Mike. Again, one more time. You don't ask a fish to climb a tree, you just let it swim. This is some of the responses that I've seen by people talking about it. Someone says, oh yeah, maybe the grass is green, but it still needs to be cut. The next person says, the sky's the limit, but airplanes still need a runway. This, of course, is people mocking Tomlinisms.
Yeah.
Another one, even the rooster that crows the loudest still ends up in the soup. If you see a bear in the woods, I'll have fries with my meatloaf. I mean, this is what we're going to be hearing next, is how ridiculous. Let me give a couple more here. If it's raining, we get wet. That's football. Sometimes you have to let the gum get soft before you grab the tambourine. And then finally, another classic. Again, these are from people. These are people making fun of Tomlin's latest Tomlinism. He says, a hammer isn't bad at cutting wood. It just wasn't made to saw. So, I mean, come on. As ridiculous as these people sound, Mike, he literally says when asked about accountability, you don't ask a fish to climb a tree, you just let it swim, which you could get the point. Okay, I get it. But we're not 9.
Yeah,
we're not fucking 10 years old.
Yeah, you don't judge the fish isn't stupid because it doesn't know how to climb a tree because it's meant to swim or whatever the saying is.
Or you talk to fans like they're fucking adults who couldn't understand normal fucking conversation.
Instead of just saying, hey, we put Caleb in a position we thought he was ready for. He was not ready for. Let's not judge him. And, we're moving forward. No, let's throw out some asinine bullshit
This is what I'm saying. This is where we're at right now, guys. This is where we're at. It's unbelievable what's going on with this football team. So again, guys, that was a little bit to get caught up on some of the things that Mike Tomlin said. If you heard that, you probably feel 100 times better about this team, better than you did yesterday, because these quotes from his press conference yesterday, Mike, they speak volumes, I think. Again, you don't ask a fish to climb a tree, just let it swim. Mike Tomlin feels great about the offensive line play. And then also, Mike, just trying to win football, not focused on offensive identity. Mike, also, yes, we were right. Jalen Warren is the number 1 receiver on this team after 2 weeks. So we didn't need a number 2, right? We have a number 2. We have a number 1, and DK Metcalf is a number 2, apparently, Mike, because Jalen Warren has 108 yards receiving after 1 week, and DK Metcalf has 103 yards, 5 more yards than DK, and they both have a touchdown. So basically, you do have your wide receiver too. Unfortunately, he's a running back. So,
hey,
listen, Mike, you're just going to say if it's going to happen, let it happen. But you know what? If this continues to happen for 17 weeks, things are not going to be good on this football team. I think we could all agree on that. Here's another thing about this offense, guys. Aaron Rodgers is averaging 5.7 yards in the air per attempt this season. 5.7. Remember, we wanted to get that midget Russell Wilson out here because all he was doing was throwing check downs, and his ball was Mike, 5.7 yards in the air per attempt this season for Aaron Rodgers, which is the 3rd fewest in the NFL and his fewest since 2016.
Yeah.
Which was 9 years ago.
Yeah. And then, like, yards per completion is 9.8. But we are right on the heels of the Detroit offense of 9.9. That is supposed to be this magical, futuristic offense,
which we haven't seen yet this year.
We haven't seen what after Ben Johnson left and everything. Yeah. But it's some of the numbers, going through the numbers, like you said, like his air yard completion percentage, average depth of completion. But then you look at some other of these numbers, something's not adding up. Like the math is all over the place to where some of this should be a whole lot worse than what we're actually is number wise. So
don't say that. We might don't.
I know, all right. It might actually catch it. It might actually fall in line and get worse till it bottoms out. But I was going through all these numbers pre-show, and it was weird.
I got more numbers for you. If you like numbers, Mike.
Yep.
Here's another interesting one. Ready for this? The Steelers record. Let me see. The Steelers record a league high 18.2% missed tackle rate so far in the first 2 games. But damn that Caleb Johnson and his rookie mistake after 1 game and us letting up 32 points, which must not mean that cost us the game. Yeah. Mike, they're 18.2 missed tackle rate in the first 2 games. They've missed 28 tackles so far. And then they've allowed the most yards after missed tackles. They're the 3rd most in that category, yards let up after missed tackles. So again, this is why I say, we can always say this is what the problem is. This is the problem. But once you sit down and look at everything, there's a lot more problems than people know with this football team.
Well, it's funny because last year, I was looking at those stats too. We were one of the better tackling teams. We had one of the lowest missed tackle rates in the NFL last year. I think we were only number 2 to I forget who it was last year.
So what we're saying, Mike, we shouldn't depend on this defense to carry the load like we did last year, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, somehow it's gotten worse. We've added better players, and we've gotten worse tackling.
That's what I'm saying. There's a lot of things that don't make sense right now with what's going on.
And real quick, speaking about this defense, Cole Holcomb was on 6 rushing plays versus Seattle. They only got 12 yards on those plays when he was out there, which is weird. Because, like I said, he looked tentative, but somehow when he was out there, a small sample size, like the reporter was saying, but maybe something to look into. Maybe get him out there more. Maybe get that Bentley guy in there as well too.
Like they're not going to put him out there because he did well. Come on, I
know.
What's going on this year?
Yeah.
Apparently, they're going to not put him in and say that we just don't have an inside linebacker. I don't. That's just the way that it's kind of going. Let's jump back on the board though, Mike. I'm seeing interesting comments coming through as we're talking about this. I'm going to go all the way back to right here where Jen says, hey Stu, hey boom, all the pleasantries. I do want to say welcome, Jen. Always great having you on the board. Let's see. Breathe still, lady, breathe. All right, right here. Jen says, I'm good now. I was pissed during the game, but now looking forward to the high draft pick next year. They're going to win just enough games to not get it. You know that's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. They're going to stumble. They're going to stumble into an 8 or 9 win season. More than likely 9. Tortilla says, might be smoking crack, bro, with all those Tomlinisms. When Dan Rooney passed away, so did the Standard. Jen says, fish swim in their own piss and shit. Great quote, Tomlin. Phil Steele says, with the new head coach, Jen. Corey says, the fuck did Tomlin just say? What does that even fucking mean? Does he just sit around with a notepad in the offseason coming up with these instead of creating a solid preparation for right? I wish you would focus on scheme and gameplay. Mike, your mic's not working. Your mic's not on. And come up with that stuff and put the time and effort into that. No, he got all these dumb Tomlinisms and sayings.
Mike Tomlin's gotten into Aaron Rodgers ayahuasca.
Yeah, for sure.
This ain't pretty.
Phil still says, oh man, I can't wait. I pray it comes. Come on, Skiller Nation at Heinz Field. Please let me hear it. Mark Malone says, some would call what Tomlin does during press conferences shucking and jiving. We've had that conversation on here before. I recall that same conversation.
Oh, Mark.
Tortilla says, next time my boss says I'm slacking, I'm going to say, don't judge a fish by how good it climbs. Do it, Tortilla. Do it. It works for our head coach. And then, you know what? If you get shit, be like, hey, this is Mike Tomlin does this. He gets paid a lot more money. I'm just following his footsteps. Figure this is what you do.
Following the lead.
And then also Tortilla says the fish can't swim, Mike. So there you go, guys. Again, today, Mike, listen, bored, terrible bored. Mike, I'm going to stop talking. Matter of fact, I'll shut my microphone down. Explain to me what this, because again, in a nutshell, I don't even know if I understand. Explain to me what this Arthur Smith offense ultimately is, what the game plan is, and with what is going on, why isn't what's happening working so far, and what's going to need to change for this to become an effective system for this football team for the last 15 games they have to play this season. And I'm going to turn my mic off. So go ahead and you guys have at it on the board as well. I entertain me, please. Educate me.
Okay. Are you done? You done?
Yeah.
All right, cool. From what I have seen just from like this Arthur Smith version on this team right here, it's getting the ball into your playmaker's hand, and it's not getting there. And when it's getting there,
wait a minute. His game plan is to get the ball into the playmaker's hand. That's the game plan. And hold on, the main part is it's not working.
Yeah.
Okay. Continue.
Yeah. Those quick hitters to DK Metcalf that were there that he dropped 3 in a row, working the short to mediate middle of the field to get quick yardage, make that extension of the running game is not there. It is not hitting. The play actions, we saw some too that worked. I think you might be correct, Ryan. No, it was not. The big pass play to Muth that he dropped down the sideline. That was a nice play designed by Arthur Smith. Aaron Rodgers caught them on the hard count. We got the free play. Muth has to complete that. There are plays out there where guys are running open. And again, it's like what we talked about in the offseason. That offensive line giving Aaron Rodgers time to throw. There are plays that are left out on the field that are there, and there's other plays that are just poor execution. Using the screen game, I want to see more of that because teams are starting to bite on it. They've been on it after the long run, catch and run by Jalen Warren, that screen pass to Kenneth Gainwell. Like they said on TV, teams were, Seattle was looking for a big explosive play. We had the screen there. If it's blocked correctly, nothing but daylight in front of them, plays could have worked. But what this team really needs, they need to get the run game going big time because, like we said, we got to use the play action. If you can't use the play action, guess what? You got to go to something else that's working. And if you can't run the ball, you can't run this offense effectively. So then you got to compromise on the side. Figure out, okay, Aaron, what works for you? If we can't get the run game going, let's collaborate together. And it's what we saw in the second half, man, that the offense got a sputter because of it. And you gotta stop subbing in Gainwell. You gotta stop taking out DK Metcalf. Jalen Warren, DK Metcalf need to be out there every single play. Fryermuth needs to be out there more. Jonnu Smith, he's getting involved, but can we throw the ball to him deeper than 4 yards? I think he has like 5-6 catches and like averaging 4 yards a carry. 4.7 yards. 9 catches on 10 targets for 42 yards. Where last year in Miami, that number was way higher. I think it was like 18 yards a reception. We got to target him deeper in the field.
The offense was supposed to be a lot better because we were adding Jonnu Smith to the Arthur Smith offense. Well, that's not obviously being applied.
And he's still only lining up like in line. I haven't seen him line up a whole lot outside. Now on that 2-point play, they brought in all 4 tight ends. They had everyone spread out to hit that fade route to who was at Mount Washington for the 2-point conversion. I thought we were going to see more of that in this offense to try and catch teams off guard. And we have not seen that. We have not seen any of these crazy formations where you can line up all the tight ends or, line up 3 tight ends in DK Metcalf, go big and heavy against these lighter defenses. We haven't seen it. We need to see more of it. We're only I don't know, it's just frustrating the way the tight ends are being deployed because they were supposed to be an extension of this offense, and they're not being an extension of like the run game. Really, you hit those short little passes to gain chunk yardage. It's just not there. Where's the little bootlegs out that we ran last year to Mount Washington that we're picking up 7-8 yards? We're not seeing any of that. We need to get back into stuff like that. Use those short passes, draw the defense down. Then you can hit over the top with a speedster like Calvin Austin or DK Metcalf. We're not seeing that. We're not seeing defenses being drawn in.
So let me get this straight.
We can't stop the run, or we can't run the ball.
I took real time everything that you just said. It went in one ear, and I calculated and computed and mixed it all up in here. And now I'm going to send it out my mouth. What I gained from that. Arthur Smith's offense is get the ball to your playmaker.
Yeah.
Short. Get the ball to your playmaker. Get your ball to the playmaker. This is what we're relying on.
That's what I'm seeing.
And this is what we sat back all year and said, well, you know what things are going to be. We're not going to need a wide receiver too because it's Arthur Smith plan. Meanwhile, the whole time this plan is get the ball to the playmaker.
Yeah.
I wonder why nobody's ever thought of that.
Yeah,
what a genius offensive
short intermediate passes that they're not hitting. DK dropped in 3 of them. That fucking killer right there. You start completing more of those, you can do a whole lot more with this offense. From what I'm seeing, but like I said, there's plays that are there that the O-line's just not giving him time for. But somehow, we are the number 8 scoring offense in the NFL.
By scoring 1 touchdown last game. And,
25 points a game, baby. 25 points a game average. Somehow we are the number 8 offense in the NFL.
We scored 50 points so far?
Yeah, 2 games combined.
Okay. All right. Okay. Let's move on, though. I do want to say I'm just blown away that I can't believe nobody's thought of this plan that Arthur Smith's offense is. And the fact that they're not even doing it even blows my mind even more, is to get the ball to the playmaker. Damn. All right.
And we're 11th in yards per pass attempt, too.
And that's crazy because his the shortest pass attempt numbers. How's that even possible?
I know.
Again, I'm detecting bullshittery here. Something's going on here, and I don't like it.
Numbers ain't numbering, but somehow the offense is a top
numbers
10
don't
offense.
lie.
Top 10 in the NFL, baby.
And also my bottom 3 with the same category. So whatever it makes sense. I don't know
exactly.
Corey says you want to know how want to know what tells me Mike Tomlin isn't all in. He doesn't get fired up in games. I know, and it's not even say go out and get fired up. Just show some emotion like you're alive. I want to go out and just poke him sometimes to make sure he's okay. He says after we won our last Super Bowl and even when we lost to Arizona, 43. I think we won the last Super Bowl against Arizona. Anyway, we lost to Green Bay. But he said he stopped getting excited in games. He shows no fire. Again, it's a very emotional sport. Maybe you want to show some emotion at some point to get the guys to rally behind you, because what you're doing now isn't working. I can tell you that. What you've been doing for the past 5 years isn't working. I can tell you that. What you've been doing for the last 15 years hasn't been working. I can tell you that. There's no consistent growth on this team. It's just kind of getting back to the drawing board every year. And Sticky B, what you know about Sticky B? Sticky B says, thanks, super late, stupid work. Don't they know I have a show to catch? Hey, you know what I mean? Like we're gonna start getting a hold of these employers because
I gotta get another list going for your guys' bosses.
I know. I don't like what's going on. These bosses. Corey says, as long as he stays at 9 and 8, 10 and 7, he's okay. Jen says, who the fuck knows what this offense is? And again, maybe it's a breakthrough. Maybe getting the ball to your playmaker is a new thing. I don't know.
Get it in their hands quick and let them.
Maybe I've never watched football in my life. I never thought of getting the ball to the guy that's the playmaker. Just blown away. Corey says, I guarantee if we're 8 and 8 at the end of the year, the last game, he'll show some fire, not to have a losing season. Yeah, he won't be standing out there aloof and stoic. If that's the case, I can promise you that. Sticky B, what you know about Sticky B? Sticky B says, beg Mike Munchak to come back and teach this O-line something. Pay that guy whatever he wants. The line has been crappy since he left. Christopher says, mystery loves company. Big love, Yinzers. Likewise, my friend. Always great to see Christopher on the board. Sticky B, what you know about Sticky B? Sticky B says, if we could run the damn ball effectively, defenses would have to stop stacking the box. Phyllis Steele says, I answered your question in 2 bullshit drives. Run it in with Warren and go for it on 4th down. The Steelers coaches suck right now. Follows that up by saying, Mike, too much blah, blah, blah. Mike, just say the coaching sucks right now. All the coaches. He says 92 said it, whereas the game scheme. You're right. Schematics is what is going on? Corey says numbers don't lie, but they do inflate the truth. And you can manipulate numbers. No two ways about it. Christopher says, we have 2 shrimps and 1 lobster at wide receiver. We need another. And quite literally, I don't know if this is a joke or if this is a Talmudism or if this is literal, because we do have 2 shrimps and a lobster.
Can we get some calamari out there too?
He didn't mention.
Well, that's
he didn't mention the white guys. Yeah, the white guys are calamari.
Skoranek and Miller are your.
I'm not throwing the ball to my calamari. Believe me, I'm throwing it to. I'm going to try to throw it to my lobster, but if he's going to catch it with them hands, I don't know. He follows that up by saying this. He says, we need another lobster wide receiver. Tyreek would help, but I want Cameron Sutton or Chris Olave.
Does Olave have another concussion?
I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised.
No, it's Fields. I knew one of the Ohio State
Fields
guys.
is on. Yeah, he's on.
I knew one of the Ohio State guys got another concussion. Okay.
Corey says inflate may have been the wrong word. Over exaggerate may be the best term. Jen says, right, I agree. I have to mentor a new hire during the show. That damn mentor or the new hire. No, she's the mentor. The damn new hire.
Damn new hires, but Jen's employer is on the list.
Why are these people tripping? It's football season.
They're going down.
Corey says we'll see vintage Mike Tomlin tripping motherfuckers at 8 and 8. Hey, you're right, man. It's good. Eventually finish at 500 or better. That's all I got to say. Tortilla says last time Mike Tomlin gave emotion was, I think, the Jets game last year, or maybe it was the Giants, which were 2 pretty easy winnable games for the team that we had last year before we traded away for the star-studded defense and everything else that we did in the meantime. Cody says, what up, Jen? Mark Malone says, I'm inhaling butane to figure out what's going to happen in Boston and Ireland. I've got to know. And then finally, Cody says, if we get Tyreek Hill, Scotty Miller will score all the touchdowns. More than likely. A couple of things here, guys. I just want to go over you may have missed from the beginning of the show. The Steelers they are signing inside linebacker Jawan Bentley. He's played 7 years in New England. They're signing him to the practice squad. From what I'm hearing, as soon as he learns the playbook, he will be bumped up to the regular squad. He's going to rejoin Jabril Peppers from that secondary. Mike, he's a 4-time captain and a Super Bowl champion, a physical thumper with 68 starts and 509 tackles. He is being signed to the practice squad right now. Jawan Bentley. Also, Mike, the Steelers are interested in very close to signing, I'm hearing, to Isaiah Hodgins, who's a former Giants and Bills wide receiver. He's 6'4", 200 pounds. He was a 6th-round pick out of Oregon in 2020. The Steelers did cut a couple guys from their practice squad to make the space. J.J. Galbraith and Raheem Jarrett are both gone, Mike. And then also they hosted a couple former Steelers, Matt Sokol, and also the tight end, of course, and Jacoby Wyndham, the linebacker. They were also in visiting the team yesterday. A a couple other things going on outside of the Steelers. Preston Wilson, wide receiver that was with us last year, he signed with the Washington Commanders. And finally, guys, I know you miss him. I know you miss this guy, Devin Bush. Right now, 2 weeks in Cleveland, 2 weeks at 2 games. He has 15 tackles, 2 tackles for losses, 1 sack, and 3 passes defensed. Why can't one of our inside linebackers get this kind of production? But that's what Devin Bush is doing, guys. So there you go. That is getting caught up on all the transaction information to this point. We're going to still continue to keep our eyes open because, again, Miami is far from being a playoff team. Maybe we might land Tyreek. Maybe we won't. Maybe he'll go to Kansas City. So we will keep our eye on pretty much everything going forward, guys. And let me ask you this. I mentioned this earlier real quick before we do start to wrap things up. We're getting close to round and third here. By reputation, by his early interception for the Steelers, and by the hit heard around the NFL, which is that play that Ramsey made at the end of the Jets game to put the nail in the coffin on the Jets, that they went on and on and on and on how great this hit was. Now, he got burnt the other day, and let's just say he has a little better than average season. Do you think that Jalen Ramsey's already on the All-Pro team? Do you think he's already a Pro Bowl team right now? Like I said, this is just it comes down to what fans, players, coaches. Yeah. When the fans look at it, a lot of times, people that don't really dive into the details of the game, they recognize the name. When back when the Steelers played, you automatically voted for Rod Woodson. It didn't matter what happened. You understand what I'm saying? You guys think right now Jalen Ramsey, after 2 weeks, is already a Pro Bowler. And again, going off reputation and those few plays that you've seen, I think he can skate through the rest of this year. It pretty much average or a little bit better. I think he's still going to be on the All-Pro team. Again, maybe from reputation alone. Probably
he'll make the Pro Bowl.
That's what I'm saying. I
think it will depend, though, too, on how well the team does.
Yeah.
Real quick, back to Devin Bush. He's on pace for 127 total tackles.
Oh.
It'll be his best year ever. His rookie year, he had 109. His last year in Pittsburgh, he had 81 when we were ready to run him out of town.
Imagine that. Let's see.
He's only 27.
Jens has moved to Marvin Leal. Move to Marvin to the roster. That'll fix things. Of course, as I think we win the next 2 games, I'm not worried about the short term. I'm more worried about the longevity of this defense. They are definitely overpaid, like high-end antiques, expensive and fragile. Cody says, yeah, they signed Isaiah Hodges his best year. He got 230 all year, major upgrade. Why do I keep calling him Hodkins? Why do I have Hodkins? It's Hodges.
I don't know. See, you yelled at me when I corrected you, but the board does it. And you're like, oh, okay, guys, I got you.
Cody also says right now Jalen Ramsey's the only player on the defensive line I like. The only player on defense I like. Tortilla says no, but if TJ gets voted in, so should Ramsey. TJ's going to make it. The guy hasn't had a sack yet, but again, I guarantee he gets the votes, right? At least by the fans. And that's what I'm saying. These guys don't have to play. Jalen Ramsey could play average the rest of the season. I think he's going to be just fine. He's going to be fine with his career. At the end of the day, when he goes to move elsewhere, they're going to say, well, that was that team they weren't doing much. The team wasn't any good. Jalen did really good, though. So, again, that's all I'm saying. I hope that these guys continue to play at that high level all season. Guys like Jalen Ramsey, we don't know. He's never been here before. And so we will see. But I do too. I think Jalen Ramsey's playing out of his mind, Cody. I really do like Jalen, and I hope that he continues with the way he's playing because again, he got an interception early on his squad. He had that hit last week in New York. So if he keeps bringing it, you got to like that. Tortilla says, I'm sorry, we did get that one. Then also Cody says, right now Jalen Ramsey is the only player I like on defense. Real quick here, Mike, I do want to say Buccos lose 4-1 to the Cubs. Game 3 today, game 3 of 3. That game has already started a little over an hour ago, 12:35. The Bucs come in with a 65-87 record, Mike, and they do wrap that series up at home with the Cubs today. Why don't you go and tell everybody about the website?
The Yinzers.com. Check it out, everyone. We got the merch store over there. We got all of Ryan and I social media links over there. And we got Vanilla Thunder's Dumb Thoughts. Check them out. The Yinzers.com. This one, I thought this week was a banger for Dumb Thoughts. Check it out.
Cody says, you guys see the episode of Shane Gillis Tire? You know what? I didn't see that. I did not see that. JJ Watt.
JJ Watt.
What's up, Big Zeus? Always great seeing Big Zeus on the board. Big Zeus says Ramsey will continue to make big plays. I hope everybody else follows suit eventually. I really do, guys. Again, 9 guys that are pretty much a big name on any other team. And then Benton and Peyton Wilson. I just we have to turn this thing around. I get it. We're 1-1. I get that, and maybe you know what? Maybe we could win a lot more games this year than we think that we can, and maybe things will get fixed. But again, just right now, things look very chaotic, very confused, very it doesn't look like they have much going on, which it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But we'll still continue to keep on top of it and figure out what the hell they're doing as we get ready for New England. Mike, and then tomorrow, of course, we'll be back for the picks for the week. And don't forget, guys, if you want to sign up over at our CBS Pick'ems participation, I guess you could call it, Mike will put the link up here on the board. And then also just right outside on the YouTube page itself, just click on the link. It takes 30 seconds to sign up. It costs nothing. And you could make the picks every week with us, see how it falls for you. So far, it's doing really good. A bunch of people from the board are on there, Mike, and it's been a lot of fun. And I'm getting ready to make my picks this week soon, because tomorrow we're already back into the NFL week with week number 3. And I think it's a pretty good game, if I'm not mistaken, Mike. I don't recall off the top of my head.
Dolphins at Bills.
Dolphins at Bills. That's right. The Bills are playing. That's why I thought it was going to be a good game.
Yeah,
but of course, we might get Tyreek Hill by tomorrow at midnight.
Get a win, Buffalo, so Tyreek Hill can come to Pittsburgh.
That's what I'm saying. He might be on the plane. He might be on the red-eye flight to Pittsburgh on Thursday night, because they will be 0-3. They're not beating Buffalo. I don't care what anybody says. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. But do go check out the website, everybody, www.the2wyinzers.com. That's www.the2wyinzers.com. Lots of cool things over there. Let's get into the question of the day, trivia of the day, Mike. How well do you know your enemy? How well do you know your opponent? Of course, it is New England this week, a team that morphed into one of our big rivalries for a couple decades.
Mm-hmm.
A team that we never really cared much about prior to or after. But you know what? We still have a difficult time beating this team. Mike, this question, put on your thinking cap. Everybody on the board, everybody at home, this is the question of the day. Which Major League Baseball team drafted Tom Brady to play catcher in 1995? Which Major League Baseball team drafted Tom Brady to play catcher in 1995? Like John Elway, he got drafted to the majors as well, chose to stay and play quarterback in the NFL. You know what? Did okay, I'd have to say, Mr. Brady.
Not bad.
Again, which Major League Baseball team drafted Tom Brady to play catcher in 1995? Take a minute to think that over. We're live 5 days a week right here, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, every day right here on the Tube.
On the Tube.
The Tube. Phil is still saying he played for the Left Nuts. Or he got drafted by the Left Nuts. Tortilla saying the Oakland A's. Out Tortilla's way. Maybe he knows something we don't know here.
Mm-hmm.
Again, Mike, what baseball team drafted Tom Brady to play catcher? Of course, Tom Brady turned it down. Any guesses? Any thoughts?
Well, let's see. The Yankees come to mind. It's because the Yankees are the Yankees, and they would probably do something like that. You want the Michigan? Detroit Tigers are there. I don't know where he was born, so I don't even know where to guess. I'm going to go Detroit Tigers.
All right. Question of the day, guys. Corey says I'm not a big baseball guy, but I'm going to say the Little Giants. So guys, the question of the day is this. Which Major League team drafted Tom Brady to play catcher in 1995? Mike's saying Detroit, seeing the A's, seeing the Giants, bunch of different answers on the board. Guys, the team that drafted Tom Brady in 1995 to play catcher in the majors and got turned down is a team that is another team now. This team doesn't exist anymore. The Montreal Expos.
Wow.
We're the team who is now the Washington Nationals, believe it or not, the way it all plays out. Sticky B, what you know about Sticky B? He says the Rockies. Vegas says the Bad News Bears. And the answer, of course, guys, is the Montreal Expos. That's who drafted Tom Brady to play catcher. And again, he turned it down. Richard saying the Pittsburgh Pirates. The Montreal Expos, everybody, but a lot of good guesses. And there's a couple real quick comments that I'm going to grab here, Mike, before we do start to wrap things up. As I see Ron Owens, I want to say welcome to Ron Owens on the board. Great to see you. He says foundational problems have existed for years. Rooney philosophy and Tomlin inability to produce success, and he never takes any responsibility other than we have to coach better. Thanks for the comment, Ron. Again, welcome to the show. Great to have you. Cody says you should meet his brother, TJ. He's the man.
No, not so much right now.
Tortilla says, Shane said to JJ, you should meet his brother. Is the show. Okay. I got to see this. All right. I didn't see this yet. Corey says, isn't it funny last season our secondary couldn't hold up for our D line, and now our D line can't hold up for our secondary. I've never seen a struggle to get right this bad ever in my life. But that just seems like it's been the Steelers. The defense looks good. The offense plays like crap. The offense puts up board. The defense plays like crap. The secondary plays good. The defensive line plays like crap. It just why? It's bizarre, man. It doesn't. I don't see other teams having this issue constantly like this. Vegas says, I think the Expos were going to win it all in 95. That was a point they did really well. Absolutely.
Yeah. And then the season shut down.
Yeah. And then Cody says preparation H does feel good on the whole. I take your word. And don't mistake it with the icy cold either whenever you're doing that, because I imagine, I don't know for personal experience, but I do know that does sound like it could be an interesting combination, guys. Phyllis Steele says cheer ping pongers. Also, Vegas says had the killer B's on, but a bunch of killer F's on D, a bunch of killer B's on O, a bunch of killer F's on D. Guys, I do want to say to everybody, thank you for coming and tuning in and hanging out with us today. We appreciate each and every one of you. We truly, honestly do. We wouldn't do it without you. Thank you so much. I want to say thank you to everybody on the board. You guys always keep things interesting here on the show, on the terrible board, and everybody at home, whether you're at the gym, whether you're in your car, whether you're at work, or you're at home watching on your TV. Thank you too. I also want to give a big thank you from our friends at Duquesne Pilsner. Everybody, they went this weekend and they were participating in a tailgate down at the stadium before the first home game, and they did include us in their post regarding the tailgate, and we wanted to pay it back to them, guys. As you see, I have my pyramid back here in the corner, and then also right here in front of me, and Mike, he's been chugging at his all game. But Duquesne Pilsner, guys, go grab a case. It's really good, and just like the can says, the finest beer in town, Duquesne Pilsner, everybody. Some good stuff. Go get yours. Mike, I also got a couple other things here before we do roll. Don't forget to get them bets in, Mike. I lost this week because I didn't get my Thursday night bet in last week.
Get it in, brother.
I didn't get it in on time, but that would have put me over the edge. I didn't, so make sure you get on to more tonight or tomorrow before the Thursday night kicks off, Mike, because week 3 is just it's right around the bend. It's starting tomorrow. If you haven't had a chance yet, we are all over social media. Go visit any of our social media sites. We're on Facebook, X, formerly known as Twitter, Instagram, Threads, and even TikTok. Swing over, hit the follow button, and keep up with what the two dumb Yinzers are up to on a day-to-day basis. And finally, if you haven't had a chance yet, hit the like button, hit the sub or the subscribe right below. It will help us out, and we greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much. Mike, we are going to get ready to wrap things up for today, sir. Anything before we wrap it up? Any final thoughts on anything that we talked about, the Arthur Smith's offense, any of these transactions that happened in the past 24 hours? Anything stand out to you that you would like to comment on?
I hope we can get, oh my God, I forgot the guy's name, but the middle backers up to speed, get him out there. He looks to be a tackling machine. Former captain of the Patriots, like I said, Super Bowl champ. I want to get him out there as soon as possible. One other thing, you know how like when we tend to get rid of a wide receiver or a player, they tend not to do a whole lot in the NFL. I think we now need to start signing former New York Giants. Since leaving the Giants, Saquon Barkley hit 2,000 yards rushing. Daniel Jones leads the AFC in passing yards, and Xavier McKinney leads the NFL in interceptions. So I think next offseason, if we're going the free agent route, just sign every ex-New York Giant.
Well, here's the thing, Mike. They always pick high because they always stink. So
yeah,
it holds water. For one, I really expected Saquon to do what he's doing. The other guy, Mike, Daniel Jones, I think is the big surprise. Again, he's leading the NFL in all passing.
Yeah.
Which
that came out of nowhere.
I would have never guessed this in a million years. But yeah, that's true. Let's go fishing in the New York Giants roster next time, because again, they get high picks. So yeah, I mean, it adds up. Let me grab a couple more of these before we do a roll for today. Cody says, Richard, loser. And that's going to change this week. They've been relentless on Richard this week, and I kind of feel for him. I do. I can't wait to get these new picks underway. Vegas says, have a great day, everyone, except for you, Derpy. You need to pick better, Man, these guys
Shots
they're
fired.
rough
Shots
today, man.
fired. I love it.
It's the chippiness after a loss, gotta say. Cody says, Ryan, you have a beer hat. Are you talking about one of them ones where you put your beers in both sides and there's a straw? Because I don't have that, and I've seen them before, and I would get one. And Mike, I mean, I'm sure he would probably put it on and drink his beer during the show if we
I'd
did
have
it.
one. Yeah, one for beer. And I was gonna say one for another drink.
Yeah, so we do not have. Maybe we'll get a black and gold one or something like that here on the show. And finally, Vegas says, how fast did you drink that beer pyramid? I bet it took you less than 10 minutes. It did not take long. And again, the kid will continue to drink these Duquesne Pilsner, guys. This is really good beer, especially on game day. Right here, hometown beer, hometown made. And as the can does say, it is the finest beer in town, everybody. So get out and try it. And if you try, go out and get more Duquesne Pilsner, everybody. They helped us out, and we're trying to help them back. So it would be greatly appreciated. Give it a shot. It's really good. Also, Tortilla says, I can't go fishing anymore. All my trees got cut down.
Oh,
you know what?
Damn.
Every Steeler fan is going to understand what you just said, because we're prepared. We're seasoned to understand what that means. Vegas says, my fantasy team is 2-0. That's awesome, man. And then also Cody says, we need one. We will. You know what? I used to see them in Spencer's and places like that anymore, or back in the day. But there's not places you go to anymore. I guess you got to get online and order them that way, Mike. So yeah, we will do that. But again, Duquesne Pilsner, everybody, check it out, try it out. I think you're gonna love it. Mike, anything before we wrap it up, brother?
No, man, it was a good show, man. You guys brought it today, like always. Fucking enjoyed it. Let's do this again tomorrow.
Absolutely. We'll be back tomorrow. Finchie's going to be on board, and I think Derpy will be by too, as we got to get our picks in for the week, guys. And don't forget, get over to hit the link, get the CBS Pick'em picks in as the games start tomorrow. You missed just one. You could lose your opportunity for the week, because I did win, but I lost because I didn't get my first pick in last week.
So therefore, you didn't win.
I never said that I won. Listen, you never let me finish this on top. You always got to cut me down at the end on this one.
I do.
I know. And here's the thing: if I would have got on at the right time, I would have won. And then Mike's got to say, "Well, you didn't win." Yeah, well, that's obviously not my point. The point is, get your picks in so you don't mess up like I did.
But
Mike's point is obviously to chop me down into little pieces.
I gotta chop you down so I can build you back up to a beautiful oak tree.
You're like Mike Tomlin.
But I'm not going to judge you how well you fly by being a fish.
That's exactly it. And again, I think everybody understands what was just said. Guys, it's Patriots week. We'll be back tomorrow to get ready for the Thursday installment of the show at our regular time. We hope to see everybody then. Again, picks tomorrow, Finch, Derpy, a lot of things going on. We'll continue to get ready for these Patriots and figure out what it is we got to do to change the fortunes of this Pittsburgh Steelers team moving forward. So for Mike in the Steelers Central Mobile Studio, for myself and the Two Dumb Yinzers, I hope everybody has a great hump day. Stay safe, and we'll see you in the morning. Bye-bye.